Hey there, nerds, and welcome back to Tech Sensory Solutions. Today we're going back in time to revisit a console that dared to be different. We're talking about the Atari Jaguar, baby. Released in 1993, the Jaguar was supposed to be Atari's triumphant return. A 64-bit beast ready to take on Sega and Nintendo. But things didn't quite go according to plan. So buckle up as we dive into the rise and fall of the Atari Jaguar. The Atari Jaguar was born from ambition, a desire to reclaim the throne Atari once held in the golden age of gaming. Atari, once synonymous with video games, had fallen from grace. The video game crash of 1983 hit the company hard. By the early 90s, Atari was a shadow of its former self, but the company wasn't ready to give up. They saw an opportunity to rise again. Enter the Atari Jaguar. This new console was a bold statement that Atari was back in the game. The Jaguar would be a 64-bit powerhouse, the first of its kind. The Atari Jaguar was the brainchild of talented engineers and developers. They aimed to create the most powerful gaming console ever. Martin Brennan, a veteran chip designer, led the project. Brennan designed the Jaguar's impressive hardware. John Mathieson developed the Jaguar's operating system. He faced the challenge of harnessing the hardware's power. Together, they formed the core of the Jaguar's development team. The Atari Jaguar's claim to fame was its advertised 64-bit architecture, a bold claim in a time when 16-bit was the norm. But the reality was more complicated. It featured two 32-bit processors, a dedicated graphics processor, and a digital signal processor. Capable of impressive graphics and sound, it allowed for advanced effects like texture mapping and Guru shading, but its complex architecture was a nightmare for developers. Beyond the console peripherals expanding the experience, the Atari Jaguar, like most consoles of its era, came bundled with a standard controller and the necessary cables for hooking it up to a television. The Jaguar's controller, however, was anything but standard. It was a beast of a gamepad featuring a whopping 17 buttons and a keypad. The design was ambitious, aiming to provide players with unparalleled control and flexibility. However, the controller's sheer size and complexity proved to be a point of contention for many. Beyond the standard controller, Atari also released a variety of peripherals for the Jaguar. One notable addition was the Jaguar CD, an external CD-ROM drive that promised to enhance the console's capabilities. The Jaguar CD allowed for larger game storage, higher quality audio, and even interactive multimedia experiences. However, the add-on was plagued by slow loading times and a limited library of titles. A world of games and software exploring the Jaguar's library. The Atari Jaguar's game library, while not as extensive as its competitors, did feature a few standout titles that showcased the console's capabilities. One such game was Alien vs. Predator, a first-person shooter that pushed the Jaguar's hardware to its limits. The game featured impressive three-dimensional graphics for its time, with detailed character models and environments. Another notable title was Tempest 2000, a visually stunning update to the classic arcade shooter. Tempest 2000 showcased the Jaguar's graphical prowess with its fast-paced action and vibrant visuals. However, the Jaguar's game library was also plagued by a lack of third-party support. Many developers were hesitant to develop for the console due to its complex architecture and limited install base. This resulted in a lack of popular franchises and recognizable titles, further hindering the Jaguar's appeal. Variations on a theme, different models, different features. The Atari Jaguar wasn't just one console, it was actually a family of consoles, each with its own unique features and quirks. The original Atari Jaguar, released in 1993, was a hefty machine, known for its distinctive black and gold color scheme. It came bundled with a single controller, an AC adapter, and the necessary AV cables. Later, Atari released a revised model of the Jaguar, simply known as the Atari Jaguar 4. This model featured a slightly redesigned casing, a lighter color scheme, and a few minor hardware revisions. The most significant change, however, was the inclusion of a second controller port, allowing for two-player gaming without the need for an adapter. Section 8. Marketing the Beast's Strategies and Campaigns. Atari faced an uphill battle in marketing the Jaguar. The console launched into a crowded market, facing stiff competition from established players like Sega and Nintendo. Atari's marketing campaign focused on the Jaguar's impressive 64-bit architecture, positioning it as the most powerful console on the market. They released a series of aggressive television commercials, featuring bold claims and edgy imagery. One memorable commercial featured a group of teenagers breaking free from a monotonous classroom setting, escaping into the exciting world of the Atari Jaguar. Another commercial showcased the Jaguar's graphical capabilities with fast-paced gameplay footage and impressive special effects. Despite Atari's efforts, their marketing campaign struggled to resonate with consumers. The Jaguar's high price point, coupled with a lack of compelling software, made it a tough sell. Section 9. The Jaguar's decline. A confluence of factors. The Atari Jaguar's decline was a result of a perfect storm of factors. The console's high price point, coupled with a lack of compelling software, made it a tough sell for consumers. The Jaguar's complex architecture, while impressive on paper, proved to be a nightmare for developers, resulting in a limited library of games. Furthermore, the Jaguar faced stiff competition from established players like Sega and Nintendo. The Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, both well-established consoles with extensive game libraries, offered a more compelling value proposition to consumers. By the mid-1990s, it was clear that the Atari Jaguar was not going to be the success Atari had hoped for. The console was discontinued in 1996, marking the end of Atari's foray into the console market. Section 10. Counting the numbers, worldwide sales and market impact. The Atari Jaguar's sales figures paint a grim picture of its commercial failure. Despite Atari's ambitious goals, the console only managed to sell an estimated 125,000 to 250,000 units worldwide during its short lifespan. These numbers pale in comparison to its competitors, the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, which sold tens of millions of units each. The Jaguar's low sales figures can be attributed to a number of factors, including its high price point, lack of compelling software, and fierce competition. The console's failure was a significant financial blow to Atari, further cementing its decline in the gaming industry. The Jaguar's commercial failure serves as a cautionary tale in the annals of gaming history. Section 11. The legacy of the Jaguar, a lingering impact. Despite its commercial failure, the Atari Jaguar left a lasting impact on the gaming industry. The console's ambitious 64-bit architecture, while flawed, paved the way for future consoles like the Nintendo 64 and the Sony PlayStation. The Jaguar's innovative hardware design and impressive graphical capabilities demonstrated the potential of 3D gaming in the home. The Jaguar's legacy is also intertwined with its dedicated fan base. Despite its limited library of games, the Jaguar has garnered a cult following over the years. Enthusiasts continue to develop homebrew games and software for the console, keeping its spirit alive. The Atari Jaguar may not have achieved the commercial success Atari had hoped for, but it remains a fascinating footnote in gaming history. And that's it for our look at the Atari Jaguar. What a wild ride, huh? If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the Atari Jaguar. Did you ever own one? What are your favorite or least favorite Jaguar games? Until next time, keep it retro.